Hi, this is David Goodwin, the Assistant Director at the Fordham University Center on Religion and Culture. Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of our new mini-series, Binge-Watching with St. Ignatius. This is a new collaboration between the CRC and Father Jim McDermott, S.J. This also falls within our CRC Chats series that we just launched this spring. Many thanks to Jim for joining us today.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
So last week, we talked about St. Ignatius and his approach to spiritual reflection, which Jesuits would call the examen, and your new take on it, which involves watching television and film. And this, I think, is really helpful for many of our audience members, and I think it's helpful for me personally, since we're all watching a lot of great and a lot of not so great TV and movies right now as we're all sheltering in place. So what do you have planned for us today, Jim?
Well, David, so we thought what we would do as we were talking, it was like, let's try this with a couple different kinds of TV episodes, right? So this week you picked, right, Schitt's Creek.
That's right.
Great show, which did it just finish? It
just concluded. I am on season 5, so I'm not up to season 6 yet.
But those 5 seasons are on Netflix, right?
The first, yes, seasons 1 through 5 are on Netflix, and my wife and I just started watching it as we're self-quarantining, and I think many people have as well. So I thought that would be a great episode and a great show for us to talk about and explore.
So, and the episode, remind me what, because I'll get it wrong. What's the number and name of the episode?
It's season 3, episode 12, Friends and Family.
Friends and Family, okay. So what we're going to do, what we've talked about is talking to you guys, the viewers, we're just going to kind of walk through the kind of exercise that I talked about last week. We're each going to talk about, like, okay, what moved us in kind of watching this episode, and what kind of things, like, who were we attracted to or not attracted to, and what kind of things did it stir up? It's just an example maybe of how this sort of binge watching with St. Ignatius thing can work. So let me ask you first, David, was there a specific reason that you had this particular episode in mind, or was there already some sort of something about it that had attracted you?
Well, when we picked Schitt's Creek as our test case for this exercise, this spiritual reflection, I was thinking of episodes that I felt had moved me or that stuck in my mind for some reason. And this one touched me in 2 particular ways. One, that one of the main characters, the Rose David Rose. So Schitt's Creek features a family of 4 who lost everything in in the first episode, we find out that the financial advisor for this family absconded with all their cash or committed some nefarious deed, and the IRS comes and seizes everything. So the family moves to this town, Schitt's Creek, which they bought as a joke years before the show began. And now they're down at their luck, and they're reinventing themselves in this town. And one of the main characters, David Rose, is opening a store, Rose Apothecary. And on opening night, it's a big hit. Everyone in the town turns out. And his parents walk through the door, and you see the pride and love and really surprise in his father's face, seeing just what a success the store was. And they look at the label at one item in the store, and it says Rose Apothecary. And Moira Rose, the family matriarch, if you will, she says, the Rose name on another plucky young business. And that, I don't know, that just really touched me, that you see this person, David Rose again, transforming himself in this town from someone that seemed very feckless and irresponsible and kind of this, I don't know, emotional mess at the beginning of the series. And he's putting down roots, and he's also discovering what he's capable of as far as starting a business, sharing his taste in clothing and accoutrements and I guess other items that give life a little bit of color with this town, but also at the same time. So not to get too far into the weeds here, ramble too much.
Not at all.
He's learning from the town, and the town's learning from him. As you know, they're appreciating his business. He's bringing this, I guess, cosmopolitanism, or I guess more urbane taste to the town. But at the same time, the town's turning out to support him. By living in the town, he learned that he could open this business and become an entrepreneur, become a small business person. And he's also selling all local products. So it's also an expression of the town. And I just was really moved by that. And again, just the way his parents saw him and the way they looked at him when they walked in the front door during the launch for his business, just they were overwhelmed with surprise and joy and real love and respect for their son to seeing what he had accomplished in his life.
That's beautiful. Now, let me ask you a question, and there may not be an answer to this. Like, do you have any sense of why that particular thing moved you? Like, why for you personally that would kind of rise to the surface?
I think it's always seeing someone you care about succeed or achieve something that they might have not expected for themselves, whether that's a friend or a family member or acquaintance, and seeing other people, strangers, recognize that in the person you care about. I find that I just find something marvelous about that. When I've seen, when I've seen that in my own life, when I see just what someone can do, and also you see how others perceive someone that you're close to, and it may be different than the way you perceive them, or it may reinforce what you think is that individual's best quality or qualities.
I love that.
If that makes sense, yeah.
It does, yeah. And I guess for me, as I'm kind of listening to you, that the thing that's kicking up in me is that sense of, our relationships with our parents or our children can be so complicated in a way. Like the baseline is love, right? And kind of wanting the best. And yet along the way, our own expectations or fears can get in the way. And that, as I'm listening to you and thinking again of that moment when they walk into that store, there's just such of like, it's like all of that worry or nonsense kind of falling away, and they can just be parents loving their son. And what I don't know, don't we all yearn for that, right? And vice versa, that our children can love us just like who we are, as sort of flawed and goofy or whatever as we sometimes can be. Like to sort of, that whole episode, there's plenty of moments where you're like, oh, I wonder how they're going to take this. And then it all just falls away. They're just, there they are with their son in this kind of beautiful moment. Yeah, I love that. I think you picked that's a great thing in that episode.
Thank you.
For me, it's funny. So I've never seen this show.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Other than the pilot. And so I kind of wondered, like, oh, I wonder if this will work for me, because I don't have an ongoing relationship with these characters. In fact, I know the last name is Rose, and I know that the character you talked about, the son, is David. But other than that, and Moira, I guess. But the names are kind of slipping away. So I wasn't sure, like, I don't know if this kind of exercise will work, but this is a cool experiment, right? This is all experiment. So for me, what I was surprised by, and it didn't happen right away, because actually right away I was totally in my head like, oh my God, is this going to work? Is there something here that will speak to me? It was the picture, that one of the kind of the ongoing beats of the story is that they had this family portrait done, this massive family portrait done when they were rich, and it hung someplace in their mansion, and it has been sent to them they're living in like a motel. So like, it's basically one wall is this huge family portrait, and they're all very serious and just looking like dressed to the nines. And so it's kind of a joke, right? But I don't know, it hit me in a bunch of different ways as I was watching the episode, and then later, like first of all, like in my parents' house, I think in all our houses, right? There's just family photos all over the place. I can see walking up the steps from the ground floor to where our kids' rooms were, like the stairwell is filled with family photos of us as kids and growing up, and then my parents' grandkids, my nephews and nieces. And what struck me about it is, like, I never pay attention to those photos, right? They're part of the background. And in my own life too, like if in the room, in my room, like I've got plenty of little things I've picked up along the way that I picked up to remind me of places or important experiences. Like I noticed this yesterday. I have this little keychain. It's a, I don't know how well I'm doing that. It's of Canterbury Cathedral, which is a place that I visited in 1990 when I was in college. I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to do with my life. And I had kind of a religious experience there, and I was not a religious person at all. And then I went back like almost 30 years later and bought this to remind me of that experience. And then it's just been sitting in my room doing nothing, just it's super dusty. And so the first thing for me that photo reminded me of is like, wow, in our lives right now, there's so much stuff that we meant to nourish us and that still could, if we just are able to see it's there, if we're able to just to look around and like, oh yeah, look at that picture. I remember when we took that picture. I remember when the kids were that age. Yeah, that alone was like a really, I don't know, a nourishing thing for me. Does that make sense? Or
it does. And also that the painting represented their past life. I don't know if you remember, it turns out the daughter Alexis wasn't actually she didn't actually sit for the painting. It was the maid or something like that. And Moira did something so her face it moved, and
yeah, the eyes
right, the eyes moved, right. Yeah. So it's just,
I love that. So that was another level for me actually, was like first I was just like, wow, this makes me want to look around my room more. And then second was exactly what you just said of, over the course of the episode, kind of the learning moment for them, or the turn, is realizing they don't want that photos of an old life and a kind of a self-construction that probably wasn't even very good for them in the first place. And I don't know, for me, it just made me say like, yeah, so are there parts of, I was resonating with that question, like, are there old parts of me that I'm holding on to that I don't need to hold on to, that are like, that are sort of who I was 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and that I'd be happier if I were freer of them, if I could let them go a little bit, which is what they do in the episode in the end, is say like, that probably wasn't the best version of us or happiest version of us anyway, which I love. And actually there's a line that, what's the father's name? Mr.
Jonathan Rhodes.
Schitt's Creek fans are like, this guy, I hate that
right.
He doesn't know his name. So sorry. I will get on board. I love this show now. But Jonathan, they look at the photo and they begin to remember things that they had, like a beach house or the bed in the mansion that they don't have anymore. And Jonathan says, no, we can't go down that road. We have to focus on what we have now.
Right.
And I don't know. I just found myself thinking of like the world today. Like, yeah, that is like, I can spend a lot of time saying, I remember when I could sit in a coffee shop or go to a restaurant. Right. And it's not, that's a very real experience, but you spend too much time there, at least for the moment, and that'll drive you crazy. Yeah. But there are other things that I find that I have now, whether it's just the quiet, or I'm noticing the nature a lot more than I used to. And like, so maybe letting go of some of the past for the moment is, there's opportunity here too. It's just a very unexpected and unusual kind of opportunity. I don't know. Does that make sense at all?
No, it does. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Who would know that Schitt's Creek, the premise of the show is their lives bottom out and then they have to sort of make do. And it's like, isn't that the show for right now?
Right. Yeah. And over the course, I'm only on season 5. I haven't finished the series yet, but you really see the progression in all the characters as they're one, accepting their new life, and then trying to make the most of it, and actually becoming better people by, like as you said, letting go of their old life, which in hindsight wasn't that wonderful. And
it is crazy how, at least I find, like, you can hold on to things because they seem precious, and it's only when you've let them go that you realize, like, oh yeah, I guess they were, but there was something more waiting for you if you could just, but you don't know it until you let go, and kind of till you take the leap, you don't even know for sure that it's there. Yeah. So like the wonderful viewers, like, you might have reacted to something completely different in this episode, and you could check it out and see if like what we're saying resonates. But like, just to say, like, so what any of us might do with what this kind of exercise that we've just done, like, you might continue watching a show like Schitt's Creek, right? You might watch the next episode and the next episode and see, continue to see like patterns that develop, like, oh, I keep noticing that theme of letting go of the past, and then that it kind of leads, it's the breadcrumb, as I say it, back to that question of like, is this about me? Like, is there something for me in this, like some part of my past that I want to let go of, or some relationship with my parents or children that I want to be more free in, or something like that. Or it could just be like, this was just a kind of a wonderful moment, and that was the thing that spoke to us in this episode, and there's no further thing we must do. That it's still TV, right? We want to be entertained, and it's there to feed us on so many different levels. It never should become like therapy or sort of analysis. But the idea is that, like, at least for me, when I pay attention to things like this, it sometimes does help me kind of figure out what might be going on in a deeper place in my heart that I can't easily access, or where God might be inviting me in a way that I don't normally hear, if that makes any sense.
So Jim, how might our audience members approach watching an episode of Schitt's Creek, and really try to embrace this spiritual reflection you've been sharing with us?
Yeah. Okay. So if you're interested in trying this, right, here's what I would suggest. First of all, stuff that you're probably already doing, like be in like a comfortable place, comfortable chair, right? You're going to enjoy this, right? We're probably doing that already. Just watch the episode like you would normally watch it, and ignore the fact that there might be anything else going on. And then I really think either during the episode, but more likely when it's over, just take a moment and ask yourself, or put this question to God, like, okay, where was my heart kind of moved, or what in this episode stood out to me, and when you do that, it may be as simple as like an image or a person or an event. There might be feelings that you have attached to it, or it may even trigger like your own stuff. You might find yourself suddenly daydreaming, not about Moira, but about your mom, or not about Dave, but about your son or daughter, and the idea is allow yourself to have that, whatever the experience is, or the experience could be you sit there quietly and you're like, that Jesuit is crazy, there's nothing happening, and that's okay too, right? But to give yourself permission to like just have whatever kind of feelings or thoughts that might come to mind, or daydreams, and then just let that be. That's the exercise, is to give yourself a couple minutes at the end to sort of see what you were feeling or what was stirred up, and see if it doesn't trigger any daydreams in you about your own life. That's it, period. That's all it is.
And for our audience members, we'd love to hear how you reacted to this episode, and after watching our conversation, how you might have reflected upon the episode. So please share that with us in the comments on our YouTube page. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So Jim, next week we'll be talking about Better Call Saul. That's the plan, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to pick an episode of Better Call Saul, which will be on Netflix, just like Schitt's Creek is the episode we picked is on Netflix. And then we'll just try this again, like a different kind of a show, and see kind of what it kicks up in us.
Great. So everyone stay tuned. On Twitter and Facebook, we'll announce which Better Call Saul episode we'll be watching together. And again, thank you for joining us for episode 2 of Binge-Watching with St. Ignatius. And Jim, thanks for this conversation. This is really great and a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks to you and to the viewers for giving this a shot. I know it's a little unusual, and it's just sort of a fun experiment to try.
I agree. Stay safe and healthy, Jim.
Yeah, you too, and everybody else.